Hey, Southeast Christian Church and everyone else who is watching or listening, can you believe that we are headed into May already? We are over a third of the way through 2020, and it has been crazy, and we've been navigating the new norms. And so we wanted to update you with a few things. If you're on our mailing list, you should receive a document with a few papers that look like this. And so I just wanted to take a few moments and just kind of walk through some of these things with you, make sure that we're on the same page. If you have any questions, be sure to contact the church directly, and we'll try and answer those the best that we can. But before we get into this, I just want to thank you so much. You have been so gracious to us, the staff, the volunteers who've been putting stuff online. You are amazing. And your participation, that's what keeps us going. So your activity in watching the online worship services, your participation in our Zoom Bible studies and our prayer meetings, that's just so encouraging to us. And we thank you for not only participating in those things, but inviting people to join you as well. That has just been great. So again, thank you for that. I have been getting a couple questions, and that's what this document is about. These documents are about, and that's why we're mailing them to you, so you can set it out on your counter and kind of take some time to walk through them. And so I'm just going to give you a brief overview, but we're going to talk about our plan for opening the building up again. We're going to talk a little bit about our finances and also what's happening at Southeast. So what things are we doing as a church so that you can plan accordingly? So the first one is how are we going to open up Southeast Christian Church again? And you need to know we're going to try and follow the guidelines that are set forth by our government officials. They seem to be fair. They seem to be wise things to do, and so we're going to kind of follow through with those. And what they have, and you can download the document at home, is they kind of have a tiered approach. So there's red, high risk, orange, moderate risk, yellow, low risk, and green, that's kind of your no risk area. And for the last little while, we've been in a red, a high risk time of quarantine, I guess, if you will, and now we're moving to orange. And under the red, you could have groups of 10 gather together as long as they were practicing social distance. And under the orange, the group number has expanded to 20. And so here's the thing, whether it's red or orange, whether it's 10 or 20, we've decided that we'll go ahead and open up the building. If you and your group feel comfortable in doing that, that's fantastic. So what that means, if your group is under whatever number it is for that particular day, you are more than welcome to come and use the building. However, you need to make sure that everybody in your group feels comfortable doing that. And the other part of that is then you need to make sure that you're practicing social distance principles while you're here. So that means wearing the mask. That means making sure that you're 6 feet apart. And that also means disinfecting the area of the building that you've been using while you were at the building. And we have the cleaning supplies to be able to do that. And so just know, if your Bible study, if your ministry team, if your group of people want to get together and have coffee or socialize or study the Bible, you're more than welcome to do it. Just make sure that you're practicing social distance principles. Now, here's the thing, is that after orange, they're going to move us up to a level yellow. And we don't know when that could happen. That could be in 2 more weeks. That could be in a month. It could be in 3 months. We just don't know. But when they do, that means that they allow for groups of 50 to come. It's at this point, at groups of 50, that we're going to say, hey, if you want to come to worship service, go ahead and come. However, you need to understand that while we're putting this stuff online, this group of 50, it's going to be a scaled back worship service. It's not going to look very normal to you when you're walking through the door. There won't be greeters, there won't be coffee, there won't be any of that extra stuff. It will just be simply the volunteers who are already here putting on a worship service to be broadcast online, and you can come and watch that and participate in that worship service. Now, here's the thing, is that under the yellow restriction, they said that they might then incrementally increase the number of people that can come. So you still might be yellow, but then they might say, you know what, instead of 50, it's 75, or instead of 75, it's 100 people. We just have to wait and kind of see what they're going to do. But when it hits 100 people, then we're going to go ahead and say, you know what, here's going to be a more normal worship service. It still won't be everything that we had before. It still won't be children's ministry. It still won't be youth ministry. But we're going to have a few greeters. One will be in the front counting, making sure that we don't go over that 100 mark. We'll have a greeter in the lobby, just kind of directing foot traffic, and then we'll have a greeter that's kind of a rover that can kind of help with that. We'll have people able to hand out coffee. We'll start having coffee. We'll be handing out communion, and we'll have some other supplies that we'll have. Bulletins, activity packs for children, because again, we're not going to be having children's programming. But again, it's practicing that social distance. And so it's wearing your mask, it's 6 feet apart, and making sure that we're disinfecting as we're done. And so we'll have a cleanup crew that comes in. Also, there will be directional signs about where to go. We'll have an enter and we'll have an exit and all of that stuff. Now, here's the thing, is that if these things are popular, because we just don't know. We don't know if people are going to say, you know what, we can go back to church and we're going to get a huge crowd, or if it's going to be like, you know what, I know it's safe, but I think I feel comfortable staying at home. And that's totally fine. So here's the thing, if we're at that 50 number, and it seems like a lot of people are hungry for this, a lot of people want to get together for this, and we're bumping up against 50, we're going to do another worship service. And the same thing with the 100 mark. If there's a lot of people that come to that group under 100, and it's like, man, we're really getting close to that, then we'll go ahead and have another worship service as well. Until then, it's 9:30, one worship service. And again, right now, just making sure I'm clear, is that we are online only. And when we start inviting people back, it will be at that 50 mark and that 100 mark. And we'll just kind of see where we go from there. All right, again, if you have any questions, make sure that you contact me. Again, whether it's a group of 10, 20, 10, 20, 50, 100, whatever it is, if you aren't feeling good, please stay home. If you don't feel comfortable, please stay home. And again, if you are in public, if you are in a community space, make sure that you're practicing those social distancing guidelines. Okay, here's the financial update. There's a lot of caveats that go into the finances. A lot of expenses are up front in the year. Some are in the back. We have people giving to our qualified charitable distribution fund. And so there's all that. And so I thought, you know what? I'm just going to give you the bottom line. So here's what we have in January, February, and March. Here's our income. Here's our expenses. $4,000. You'll notice that our expenses are $4,000 above our income. Again, part of this is because we've had expenses up front, such as Easter, such as handing out those baskets that we, with the Bibles in them, as we handed out the Easter the Easter baskets and all that stuff. Some of it's just we had to pay a deposit for camp and all that. So when people ask me, I honestly, I don't know how to answer this question. I feel like we're pretty good shaped financially, and we just keep praying that God provides. But also, I want you to know that there are ways to give. And, obviously you can give in the offering tray when we open up worship services again, but you can also mail, and you can also do auto bill pay, and you can also give online at www.southeast.cc. Okay, so one more thing, and that is what is happening at Southeast Christian Church right now. And if you notice, for our worship services, Sunday worship service, 9:30 a.m., and you can watch that on our website, www.southeast.cc, and also on Facebook Live. You'll also notice that this week, it's pretty cool. We are going to start a Southeast Kid Zoom. Dave Elsog, our children's ministry, is going to be leading that, and that's going to be at 10:45. And then also we have our prayer meeting at 6 p.m. on Thursdays. So that's pretty cool. And then also you may have noticed that we've been doing drive-through prayer, and we don't have a set day for that. We've just been kind of popping that up when Tommy and his team get together and they decide that it's time to do that. So make sure that you're paying attention for that. The Bible studies. Most of our Bible studies are online now. And we have a lot of adult ones, but I want to make sure that you know this. The junior high and high school Bible studies are on Tuesday nights at 7 p.m., and you can read through that. The other part about this is we have ministry teams that are meeting. So we have the worship team, we have the tech team, and then we also have the buildings and grounds team. So I just want to make a plea for you to get involved in some of these teams. If you are capable, we would love to have you join our building and grounds team. With our tech team, there's a lot of stuff that goes into producing these worship services. And so we definitely could use some help on that, whether you're sound, whether it's running a camera, whether it's running a computer. We would love to have your involvement. So I want to encourage you to jump in on that. And that's kind of what's in your packet that you should be receiving. Again, if you have any questions, please let me know. Please contact me, and I would love to try and answer those questions as best as possible. Here's the thing, though. Again, I just want to thank you for your encouragement, for your grace. I have seen a lot of people sacrificially giving, sacrificially going to the store and getting food for people and running errands for people, and it has just been amazing to watch the church be the church. And so I was just thinking about Southeast and who you are, and this passage came to mind. It's Jesus on the Sermon on the Mount, and it says, "You are the salt of the earth, but if the salt has lost its taste, how shall its saltiness be restored? If it is no longer good for anything except to be thrown out and trampled under people's feet. You are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden, nor do people light a lamp and put it under a basket, but on a stand, and it gives light to all in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others so that they may see your good works and give glory to your Father who is in heaven." So Southeast, I'm just so grateful for you. I'm so grateful that in this time of uncertainty, in this time where people are just don't know what's happening, where they're frustrated, where they're anxious, where they're depressed, where it seems like there's no hope, I'm so grateful for you, Southeast, because you are giving a message of hope. You are being a light. You are being a light on a hill. So with all that, have a wonderful, wonderful day, and God bless.